In the heart of Detroit, the Martin Luther King Community Center had always been a place of refuge and hope. For years, it provided hot meals, after-school programs, and a safe haven for families struggling to get by. The staff, led by Director Ms. Rhonda James, did everything they could to keep the lights on and the doors open, even when donations ran thin. But this winter had been especially harsh. Layoffs swept through the city, food prices climbed, and donations dwindled. By February, the pantry shelves were nearly bare. Ms. Rhonda worked overtime, calling every contact she had, stretching every dollar, and praying for a miracle. The situation grew desperate. The center's volunteers served smaller and smaller portions, trying to make what little food they had last. Children came in with empty stomachs, and elderly residents arrived bundled against the cold, hoping for something warm to eat. Miss Rhonda hated turning anyone away, but she was running out of options. One morning, a local newspaper ran a story about the center's plight. A photo of the empty shelves, with Ms. Rhonda standing nearby looking determined but exhausted, captured the attention of the neighborhood. Residents stopped by with small bags of groceries, and local churches organized emergency collections. But it wasn't enough. The need was overwhelming, and the lines outside the center only grew longer. Ms. Rhonda fought back tears as she faced families and seniors who depended on her for their next meal. One afternoon, a teenager named Marcus, who'd grown up coming to the center, recorded a short video of the empty pantry. "This place kept me safe," he said. "We can't let it close." He posted the video online, tagging celebrities and anyone he thought might help. By chance, the video landed on Snoop Dogg's timeline. He watched it twice, his expression turning from sadness to resolve. He'd seen hunger growing up, and he knew what it meant for a community to come together in hard times. Without hesitation, Snoop called his manager. "Let's do something real for them," he said. "They need help now, not next week." That evening, Ms. Rhonda received a phone call from an unfamiliar California number. On the other end, a voice she immediately recognized said, "Ms. Rhonda, this is Snoop Dogg. I saw your story. Let's fill up that center for real." Almost dropped the phone in shock. Snoop explained that he was sending a truck full of food, enough to stock the shelves for months. He thanked Ms. Rhonda for everything she did and promised that help was already on the way. For the first time in weeks, Ms. Rhonda let herself believe things could turn around. The next morning, news of Snoop Dogg's call spread through the community. Kids buzzed with excitement, parents called each other in disbelief, and local news stations set up outside the center, hoping to catch a glimpse of the promised truck. Ms. Rhonda worked with volunteers to clear out space, set up extra tables, and organize the few supplies they had left. She wanted everything ready for the delivery, praying it would be enough to meet the demand. By noon, a crowd had gathered on the sidewalk. People shared stories about what the center meant to them. Birthday parties held in the gym, homework, help in the rec room, or simply a place to feel safe when times were tough. Finally, a convoy of vehicles rounded the corner. At the front was a huge refrigerated truck, wrapped in a mural featuring Snoop Dogg and messages of hope. The crowd erupted in cheers as the truck pulled up, air brakes hissing and the driver honking in celebration. Out stepped a representative from Snoop's foundation, grinning and waving to the crowd. Volunteers flung open the truck's doors to reveal pallet after pallet of fresh produce, canned goods, pasta, rice, milk, meat, and more. There were even boxes of diapers, hygiene products, and warm blankets. Tears welled in Ms. Rhonda's eyes as she realized just how much food had arrived. "He didn't just fill the shelves," she whispered. "He filled the whole building." For hours, volunteers unloaded the truck, stacking shelves, filling the pantry, and organizing bags to hand out to families. Snoop's team brought music, played games with kids, and recorded videos for the rapper to see the community's reaction. Ms. Rhonda made sure every person in line received more than just food. A kind word, a smile, and a reminder that they mattered. Parents wept as they received bags filled to the brim, and children danced around tables of fruit and snacks. The center came alive. Laughter and hope replaced the anxiety that had weighed on everyone for weeks. For one beautiful afternoon, the worries of the world faded away. Snoop Dogg called in via video, thanking Ms. Rhonda and the volunteers for all they did. "Y'all the real heroes," he said. "This is what family looks like. Taking care." of each other. That night, Ms. Rhonda sat in her office, surrounded by food, music, and the voices of happy families. She said a quiet prayer of gratitude, knowing things would never be the same. News of Snoop Dogg's donation spread far beyond Detroit. The story made national headlines, sparking conversations about food insecurity and the power of community action. Other celebrities reached out, offering donations and support to the Martin Luther King Community Center. Local businesses got involved, pledging regular food drives and discounts for families in need. Churches opened their kitchens, and restaurants sent hot meals to the center every weekend. The pantry overflowed, and Ms. Rhonda expanded meal service from 3 days a week to 7. Inspired by Snoop's example, neighboring cities launched similar efforts. Social media was filled with posts from people sharing food, donating to community centers, and encouraging friends to volunteer. The hashtag #FullShelves became a symbol of hope and solidarity. Snoop Dogg's foundation started a national campaign, partnering with food banks and nonprofits to support centers across the country. Each delivery was met with celebration, music, and the same outpouring of gratitude that had marked the first truck's arrival in Detroit. At the center, Marcus organized a youth group to help with distribution, lead after-school programs, and share stories about overcoming hardship. Ms. Rhonda watched with pride as her former kids became leaders and role models. The center itself became more than just a food pantry. With donations pouring in, they expanded their services, offering job training, literacy classes, mental health counseling, and even free internet access for students. Ms. Rhonda was invited to speak at conferences and schools, sharing her experience and encouraging others to fight for their communities. "It's not just about food," she said. "It's about dignity, hope, and never giving up." Snoop Dogg visited Detroit later that spring, walking through the center, hugging Ms. Rhonda and Marcus, and signing autographs for everyone. He joined a roundtable with local leaders, brainstorming ways to make the movement sustainable. Before leaving, he reminded everyone, "You don't have to be famous to make a difference. Just show up and keep showing up. That's how we change the world." Months later, the Martin Luther King Community Center thrived like never before. The shelves remained full, the kitchen bustling, and the gym echoing with the sounds of laughter and learning. The building, once threatened with closure, became a beacon for the whole city. Ms. Rhonda continued to lead with compassion and vision. She hired more staff, trained new volunteers, and mentored young leaders like Marcus, who dreamed of running the center one day himself. Families who once lined up for food now came to give back, cooking meals, tutoring kids, and helping neighbors. Through tough times, the spirit of generosity and unity, sparked by Snoop's gift, took root and grew. The center's story inspired documentaries, podcasts, and even local artists who painted murals celebrating the power of community and the importance of never losing hope. Snoop Dogg's ongoing involvement brought more visibility and support. His foundation helped launch similar initiatives in cities from Los Angeles to Philadelphia. The #FullShelves movement became a national model for how to lift up neighborhoods, one act of kindness at a time. Ms. Rhonda often thought back to the dark days before the truck arrived, remembering the fear and uncertainty. Now, those memories were woven into a new story, a story of resilience, unity, and faith. At every holiday and community event, the Evans family and hundreds of others shared meals, danced to music, and celebrated the power of coming together. The sense of family was stronger than ever. For Ms. Rhonda, the greatest gift was watching her kids grow into leaders, each one determined to give back. She knew that, thanks to Snoop Dogg and everyone who answered the call, the Martin Luther King Community Center would never face empty shelves again. And across the country, people remembered, when someone is hungry, we all have a part to play in filling the need and filling each other's hearts with hope.